what you've made.
They're not earning their pay. Exactly. You've said this before. You eat what you kill in this business. So yes, when people get started in this industry, we do need to treat them a little bit differently than somebody who's been doing this for 2 years and knows how to do this. They know how to go out and make money. It's out there. Go knock on a door and sell a roof, right? So, but with these new guys, yes, you do have to have some sort of security blanket so that they feel comfortable starting. But I don't believe that guaranteed base pay is it. First of all, people still don't get it. The reason why the base pay per appointment works so well is because they liken it to hourly pay, right? When we say you get $50 per inspection, you can do as many inspections as you want. Most people do 5 to 10 a week, or most people do 2 a day, 5 days a week. Well, then you tell them an inspection takes about 45 minutes or an hour. They hear $50 an hour. So they'll go out and do inspections, right? And it's like, shit, I could work 10 hours a week and make $500. That's sweet. That's $2,000 a month. So the only reason that base pay needs to exist at all is to get new people comfortable to start the job. That is it. And then as soon as they're making commissions, they don't get base pay anymore because they're making commissions, right?
Right.
So just remember.
That's the one thing that bothers me about what he's talking about, because it's this base $2,000, and then you may sell one roof, you may sell two, but there's nothing tied to what gets you there.
Exactly.
Which is where I like the idea of the activity, and saying, okay, you got $2,000 a month that you can earn base, but you have to qualify for it by doing
X.
10 inspections a week,
right?
Or whatever it may be. So it's like, okay, if you do these 10 inspections per week or whatever, because like I said, when we did it with these guys, we did it with 10 inspections, 4 contingencies, or 2 contracts, and everything basically had a dollar value assigned to it. So basically, $50 per inspection, $125 for a contingency, and $250 for a signed contract. So the idea was, okay, if you do that, then, and I mean, we've been doing more roofs. We've been getting a little bit better, which is amazing considering nobody's out knocking doors, except for JD, and that's really about the only guy I got left.
Yeah.
But I like the idea that, yes, you're going to get base pay, but you have to qualify for it.
You have to work for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have something other than just tell me, yeah, well, I went out and knocked doors, or yeah, I went and talked to somebody. It's like, okay, you're still not doing shit, and I'm paying you $1,000 for this week, and that's something I got to get with Tony about, because I like the idea of the activity has to be there. And even if it's, because like I said, what you're talking about was $50 per inspection, regardless of outcome, and that money not going against their future commission, just flat out, hey, this is what it is.
Exactly. And you know what? Honestly, it simplifies it. We don't need so many different variables. It's like some people are not going to be comfortable with that. Those are the people that aren't going to work. We don't want them hanging around anyways. Let me ask you this. Are these guys escorts? Are we paying them for their company? I don't think so. We're not paying for them to hang out with us, right?
Right.
And that's why base pay, guaranteed monthly base pay, does not work. So if somebody needs that to work for you, you already know that they're not going to work, because the only reason they'd be uncomfortable with it is if that was the only way they were going to be making money, aka they weren't going to be selling deals. So remember, at the core of this whole thing, whether you guys realize it or not, the reason that you feel like, and I know I'm saying this in a broad term, business owners in general, the reason that people feel like they have to have some sort of base pay, like guaranteed structure monthly or weekly in place, is because at the core of their whole reason, it's because they want to keep people. But we're not in the business of just keeping people around. Like I said, this isn't a club. They're not escorts. We're not an escort. We're not paying for company. We're paying people for performance, and this is a performance job. So the only reason that somebody wouldn't be comfortable with a per appointment pay or commission is if they weren't going to be working in the first place. And like I said 1,000 times now, you don't want those people there anyway. What's the purpose? They're just taking up air.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like I said, it's just that, like I said, he's got this idea, and I'm just trying to figure out, because he's using the offset of a very low percentage of commission on those jobs versus the base pay. But I'm uncomfortable with that because, again, with the base pay in place, you can still have the same damn situation where they're not doing shit.
Exactly.
And for that, and it's like, yeah, you get this base pay, but you got to do something to qualify for that base pay.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. I'm trying to figure that one out with him, and then, once we get these guys up and running, and I think that's where we're going to probably say, okay, there's a base pay that you qualify for, and then a lower percent of commission starting out. So keep it down to like 30% or something like that. Say, okay, you get 30% in a $2,000 guarantee, but based on activity.
Right.
Something like that, to where it's like, okay, you can do these things, and this will qualify you for your money. So you got this activity. As long as you do your 10 inspections, you get your 500 for that week. So that's fine. But, and if you sell something, you're going to be at 30% or something like that. He's trying to put it into place where, like, for 6 months, you're at $2,000 guaranteed plus a very small commission, like to the 10%.
What's the incentive to sell, though? See, that's the thing, is your company thrives on getting deals. So
right.
If they're getting 1 or 2 jobs, great, but where's the culture of selling? Like, you guys aren't running a company to pay people for just doing inspections. Yes, my base pay compensation structure starts out that way for a purpose, to get them to do as many inspections as possible, because we know they're going to get claims out of it or deals out of it regardless if they're doing that activity. But you need to focus on generating a culture of sales, not inspections. You guys aren't an inspector company. That's not what you do. You sell deals. And so that's what has to be in place here for these guys, is their number one prerogative needs to be, I make my money by the jobs that I sell, because you guys make your money off of the jobs that they sell.
Right.
So shift the focus entirely. It's not about going out and meeting people and shaking hands, knocking doors, and looking at roofs. That's great, but it doesn't put any money in the bank. These guys need to be making deals, and base pay does not have any incentive whatsoever for them to close deals.
Well, especially when you're only talking 10% on the commission side of it, because you're talking, a $2,000 job is $200.
You're creating a culture of doing nothing. I mean, that, honestly, I don't like that at all. I don't like it. Don't like it, Robert. Tell Tony. No.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think that's what, I definitely want to make sure that whatever we do, it ties into activity, pay for an activity, not just, hey, we're hiring you $2,000 a month and this is our program, and go out and knock them dead. It's like, so that's kind of something I got to jack with him. So those are the things I'm kind of running into. So that's why I want to know, kind of, in this recruiting situation, what we're looking at. I agree with you. If I can bring in, do a training class for 8 guys and get 2 or 3 to stick or whatever, that'd be great. So if I can do something like that, if we do it where, because the having to have the activity tied to it, I think, is just the biggest key. And just say, this is what this is guaranteed pay per activity. So it's not just, hey, yeah, we're going to pay you $2,000 and you can sit on your ass 1 week.
Exactly.
It's that's what I really don't want to get into. Like I said, I have the tools to watch people. I mean, I can put somebody into a roof strike deal, and I can see when they click into canvas mode. I can see right where they're at. I can see how long they were on the deal. And the guys here that didn't stay didn't like that at all, because it's like, okay, it took you 7 minutes to get from this side of the neighborhood to that side of the neighborhood, and you told me you canvassed 20 houses, and you did that in 7 minutes. Who in the hell did you talk to?
No one.
Yeah. It's like, oh, well, and I'm like, no. And I mean, I caught that one guy that blew out early, the guy that needed 100 door knocks to get 1 deal, that guy.
Yeah.
He was the guy who told me, I hit 20-some odd houses, and I look at the time frame. This thing gives me a time. As you click into these neighbors or these houses, it hits a time. And from one side to the other side, 7 minutes. I'm like, there's no way in hell.
Yeah.
I said, there's no way you did that. So.
Well, and now he's working at Pizza Hut, where he gets paid to do nothing, right? And so that's the thing, is like, You guys just can't be nervous about people not being cool with having to make commissions, because if they're not, then they weren't going to make you guys any money anyway. So why keep them around and make them feel warm and fuzzy inside about it? There's no point. You guys have the resources to track this stuff. And at the end of the day, this job isn't hard. It's simple.